And my name is Dave Fraser. I'm a consulting systems engineer with Avaya. I can be reached at 703-362-2683. The technology I was going to discuss, I thought I had 2 to 3 minutes, is Fabric Connect. It solves the problems of resiliency, redundancy, and security reduces cost, and its basic premise is making the networks as simple as possible and thereby lessen the complex infrastructure that people have today.
And you get 10, 15 more seconds if you want. That
Oh,
was
okay.
very good. You're very concise. That's great. Good model for the rest of us.
A lot of people have a misconception about networkings and why they break. The reason why most networkings breaks is because people like me working on them at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning have to touch a lot of components. Every time we touch something, the likelihood of breaking it increases. With Fabric Connect, it's a minimal amount of touch. The core, you touch it once, build it once, never have to touch it again.
Very good. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Art Glenn again. What I didn't share with you earlier, Northcom, we consider ourselves the paranoid command. We worry about everything, so you don't have to. But associated with that, one of the things we do on a regular basis is we red team ourselves. And as good as we think we are, we recognize we're not that good. And it's groups like EMP SIG that are out there thinking the hard problems and come up with some solutions are very, very helpful. We've had a lot of doom and gloom yesterday and today. There is some glimmer of hope out there. There are smart people and motivated people trying to come up with solutions. I mentioned the Spiders project we're working on, cybersecure smart grid, to really focus on some of our DoD's cannot fail missions. We're also looking to do the transition to the private sector for similar, and we talked about hospitals, where cannot fail mission is somebody's life. But think of your applications, data centers and so on. So I invite you to reach out to me via email. The information should be available. Thank you.
My name is Jack Pressman. I'm the Managing Director for Cyber Innovation Labs. We've launched a new product, EMP Grid. It stands for Global Resilient Infrastructure Development. We've been working very, very closely with Mike Caruso, ETS-Lindgren, Bill Radatsky at Meditech, and a firm called RMAG. And I was very happy to hear Dr. Baker's comments that the mill standard works and that Mike backed it up, because we are deploying the first commercially available EMP and geomagnetic storm protected data center and mission critical control facilities. They're 6,000 square foot, fully shielded, fully protected facilities. Our first one was in Iron Mountain's facility in Boyer, Pennsylvania. The second one, which is coming online, is in Mount Prospect, Illinois. The third one that's coming out of design is at 375 Pearl in downtown Manhattan. It's got the last two have 4 levels of protection, not only against full EMP based on the mill standard, but on a geomagnetic storm basis. We actually do a power kill and do complete self-generation inside the shielded environment. And that power generation is 30 days without external refueling capability. Thank you very much.
I'm Alan Roth. Thank you. I'm Alan Roth. I'm with Advanced Fusion Systems. I've been working with Curtis Birnbach for 28 years. When he first thought of penetrating through a Faraday shield, it was theoretical. It was based on certain principles of physics that he had come across, and we were having problems penetrating, killing RPGs, which are Faraday cages. And so we went to the military with this concept, and they gave us this opportunity to produce an EMP generator that could do this. And it was at Picatinny, as Curtis said, and it took some months to put together. It's $20,000, but the job was done, and it penetrated right through the wall, and the signals show the decibel loss that one would expect, which is very little, having penetrated through the wall. Well, that's the one place where this was done. And you may say, well, maybe that was some circumstance there that was different from anything else that you've seen, and apparently that's been the case with you who have worked with Faraday cages over time. But the good news is that we have built testing facilities at our plant, and you saw a photo before that Curtis showed of it. We'll have two other test cells too. They're even bigger than that, but this is the one that's going to be operational right away. And we're going to be producing EMP generators and our products starting next month. We've already started on the parts for them, but the full assembly and all will happen next month. And we do hope then to have a testing of these devices to a point where we will really go at it to not just reproduce what we did at Picatinny, but to do much more than that, and to work with others on it, not just us. People may doubt what we do ourselves in-house, but that doubt may be good because it'll question us and we'll be able to satisfy those doubts. So look to the future, and maybe it'll prove Curtis wrong, but maybe it will help everybody else to understand how this was done. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Caruso with ETS-Lindgren, and ETS-Lindgren is a company that's about 60 years old. Primary purpose is to deal passively with RF energy. So we do a lot with electromagnetic compatibility, EM shielding, and electromagnetic test cells, anechoic chambers. We built the largest anechoic chamber in the world out at Edwards Air Force Base that holds the B-1 bomber. So a lot of experience with it. We've got over 10,000 installations to our credit worldwide. We've produced over 200,000 RF filters for facility protection, and we've got about 800 employees worldwide. So been around for a while. I head up the HEMP IEMI section of the company. And if you want to know more about what we do, I'd encourage you to go to empauthority.com, and it's a website specifically dedicated to our EMP program. Thank you very much.
I'm Steve Cohen. I'm the Vice Chairman of the EMP SIG. I'm the Vice President of the Denver chapter of InfraGard as well. And I'm also the National Coordinator of the JCTF, which means Joint Communications Task Force. JCTF was developed in the city and county of Denver by us over a period of the last 8 years to address interoperable communications as well as emergency communications. When Denver decided it was something that they didn't want to continue to deal with, we decided to take the concept nationally. So we've rolled out the concept to the EMP SIG, to InfraGard, and to the FBI, and it's in a process of developing systems now, organizational charts, and the various elements that are required, just like starting a business. The JCTF is developing relationships internally within a number of levels of the FBI, inside DHS, and a number of other organizations for the purpose of trying to come up with a cogent plan to have interoperable communications where now the federal government is in part siloed in various areas and duplicative in other areas, and our intervention, our consultative capabilities and so forth, and most importantly our ability to act tactically as opposed to just being informational is one of the primary rationale for the development of the JCTF, and thank you for your attention.
Hi, Ross Merlin, Department of Homeland Security SHARES program. SHARES is the Shared Resources HF radio program. It's been operating since 1988 as a way of coordinating surviving HF long-range communications assets of the federal government so that no matter what, messages could get through. We've obviously been successful since the world as we know it still exists, so it's time to expand the program. Whether you're critical infrastructure, key resources, state government, you might have a need for reliable infrastructure independent communications, and that would be HF radio. Our office is expanding the program so that no matter whether you're licensed in the business industrial pool of frequencies, the state government pool of frequencies, or the federal government, pool of frequencies, we can provide an interoperability path. The radio regulations seem to be designed to keep those groups apart. Our program is expanding to provide a path to bring them together. So as we heard before, you may have communications to meet your needs, but your communications need power. Power needs fuel, and both of them need water, and they all need transportation systems. And at present, there's no way for a communications asset in one world to reach out to the others. So if you need help in finding out about licensing HF radio, either for your business or for government or for federal, or how to bring it all together with shares, we're available to help you. You can either contact Kevin Briggs, whose contact information will be in the program, or you can contact me, Ross, R-O-S-S, .Merlin, M-E-R-L-I-N, at hq.dhs.gov. Ross.Merlin at hq.dhs.gov. Thank you.
Thank you. Now you know why I said this was like speed dating, right? Thank you very much. And yes, we have one more.
Yeah. This is Dave Fraser again with Avaya. You can also look at our Avaya website, avaya.com. In particular, look at stealth networkings, a concept called dark horse networkings, devised by a man named Ed Koehler, who sits on the IEEE IETF committee. It's PCI compliant. It creates a network environment that's totally impenetrable. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, that's an important issue. We're talking about reliable, self-healing local grids to complement the larger grids, and it's great to be able to do the same thing with networks and have self-healing local networks that can be islanded just as the others.